Hello, New York Yankees fans. We have brand new exclusive videos and the latest news for you. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join our channel and give this video a like. It's crucial to get exclusive access to the latest updates. The baseball world was shaken in a way few could have predicted, and the ripple effects are still being felt across the entire league. Rumors began swirling quietly at first, the kind that usually fade away before gaining traction. But this time they only grew louder with every passing hour. The idea that the New York Yankees could be making a bold, almost unthinkable move involving a player long associated with their fiercest rivals seemed too dramatic to be true. Yet, as insiders began connecting the dots, one name kept resurfacing: Ranger Suarez. Known for his calm presence on the mound and his ability to control high-pressure situations, Suarez has built a reputation that commands respect across the league. The twist, however, lies in the persistent speculation tying him not just to a move away from his current environment, but directly into the orbit of the Yankees. For fans, analysts, and former players alike, the mere suggestion of such a shift feels like something out of a scripted drama, blurring the lines between rivalry and reinvention in a way that Major League Baseball rarely witnesses. As the whispers intensified, attention quickly turned toward the historical tension between the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, a rivalry deeply embedded in the sport's identity. Even the suggestion that a figure connected, however loosely, to that ecosystem could make his way to the Bronx added fuel to an already raging fire of speculation. Fans on both sides began dissecting every possible angle, questioning motives, timing, and the broader implications of such a move. Could this be a strategic masterstroke by the Yankees' front office, or simply an opportunistic play driven by circumstance? What makes the situation even more intriguing is how quietly it seems to have developed, without the usual leaks and build-up that accompany major transactions. The lack of concrete confirmation has only amplified the intrigue, turning every comment, every social media post, and every cryptic interview into potential clues. It feels less like a standard off-season rumor and more like a slow-burning story that could redefine expectations if it ultimately proves true. There is also the undeniable curiosity surrounding Suarez himself and how he might fit into the Yankees' long-term vision. Over the years, he has demonstrated a unique blend of composure and adaptability, traits that would undoubtedly appeal to a franchise constantly under the spotlight. In a market like New York, where pressure is not just expected but demanded, players are often tested in ways they never imagined. Suarez, with his understated demeanor, could represent a different kind of answer to that challenge. Rather than overpowering opponents with sheer dominance, he relies on precision, intelligence, and an almost methodical approach to each batter. This style, while perhaps less flashy, has proven incredibly effective, and it raises the question of whether the Yankees see him as a stabilizing force within their rotation. If the rumors hold any truth, it suggests a shift in philosophy, one that values consistency and mental resilience as much as raw talent. Meanwhile, the reaction from the Red Sox faithful has been nothing short of intense, even though the situation remains firmly in the realm of speculation. For a fan base so deeply connected to its players and its history, the idea of losing any figure linked to their competitive identity is difficult to process. Social media platforms have become battlegrounds of opinion, with some dismissing the rumors outright and others expressing concern about what such a move could symbolize. It is not just about the player himself, but about what it represents in the broader narrative of the rivalry. Moves like this, even when hypothetical, challenge the traditional boundaries that fans have come to expect. They force a reevaluation of loyalty, strategy, and the ever-evolving nature of the sport. In many ways, the emotional response has become just as compelling as the rumor itself, highlighting how deeply baseball is woven into the cultural fabric of its supporters. From a Yankees perspective, the speculation hints at a level of ambition that goes beyond the ordinary. This is a franchise that has built its legacy on bold decisions, often unafraid to pursue paths that others might consider too risky or unconventional. Bringing in a player like Suarez, especially under these circumstances, would certainly align with that tradition. It would send a clear message to the rest of the league that the Yankees are not content with simply maintaining their status, but are actively seeking ways to redefine it. Of course, such a move would not come without its challenges. Integrating a player into such a high-pressure environment requires careful planning, strong leadership, and a clear vision for how he fits into the team's overall structure. Yet, if there is any organization capable of navigating those complexities, it is the Yankees, whose history is filled with examples of calculated risks paying off in dramatic fashion. At the same time, there is an underlying sense that this situation could be as much about perception as it is about reality. In the modern era of sports, narratives can take on a life of their own, driven by speculation, interpretation, and the constant flow of information. The story of Suarez potentially joining the Yankees fits perfectly into that landscape, offering a blend of intrigue, controversy, and emotional resonance that captures the imagination. Whether it ultimately materializes or not, the mere existence of the rumor has already achieved something significant. It has sparked conversation, debate, and a renewed focus on the dynamics of one of baseball's most iconic rivalries. In that sense, it serves as a reminder that the game is not just played on the field, but also in the stories we tell about it, stories that continue to evolve with each new twist and turn. As the narrative continues to unfold, insiders have begun to hint at deeper layers behind the speculation, suggesting that this potential move may not have emerged out of nowhere. There are whispers about internal discussions, long-term scouting evaluations, and even quiet admiration from within the Yankees organization for Suarez's approach to the game. These elements, while difficult to verify, add a sense of credibility to the story, making it feel less like a random rumor and more like a carefully developing possibility. It raises the question of how long this interest may have existed beneath the surface, unnoticed by the public eye. In a league where preparation and foresight often determine success, it would not be surprising if the Yankees had been monitoring Suarez for an extended period, waiting for the right moment to make their move. If true, it would reflect a level of strategic patience that is often overlooked in discussions about high-profile teams. Another fascinating aspect of this unfolding drama is how it could reshape the perception of player movement within Major League Baseball. Traditionally, certain lines have felt almost untouchable, particularly when it comes to rivalries as intense as that between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Yet, the modern game is increasingly defined by flexibility and opportunity, with players and organizations alike prioritizing success over sentiment. The idea that Suarez could cross these invisible boundaries speaks to a broader shift in how the sport operates. It suggests that even the most entrenched rivalries are not immune to change, and that the pursuit of excellence can sometimes lead to unexpected alliances. For fans, this can be both exciting and unsettling, challenging long-held beliefs about what is possible within the structure of the league. The potential impact on the Yankees' pitching staff is another element that cannot be ignored. Adding a player with Suarez's skill set could introduce a new dynamic, one that emphasizes control and adaptability over sheer power. This could have a ripple effect throughout the rotation, influencing how other pitchers approach their roles and how the team strategizes against different opponents. It is not just about individual performance, but about how that performance integrates into a larger system. If the Yankees are indeed considering this move, it suggests a willingness to evolve, to experiment with new approaches in pursuit of sustained success. Such a mindset is often the hallmark of teams that remain competitive over the long term, constantly adapting to the changing landscape of the sport. On the other side of the equation, the Red Sox organization will be faced with a complex set of decisions if the rumors were to gain any real traction. Even the possibility of losing a player connected to their competitive framework would require careful consideration, balancing immediate needs against long-term goals. It is a scenario that highlights the delicate nature of roster management in modern baseball, where every move carries significant implications. The emotional aspect cannot be overlooked either, as players become symbols of identity for fans who invest deeply in their team's journey. Navigating that balance between business and sentiment is never easy, and it becomes even more challenging when the stakes are heightened by rivalry and public scrutiny. As the conversation continues to gain momentum, analysts have begun to explore the potential motivations behind such a move. Some suggest that the Yankees may be looking to exploit an opportunity, capitalizing on circumstances that could allow them to acquire a valuable asset without the usual level of competition. Others believe it could be part of a broader strategy, aimed at reshaping the team's identity and addressing specific weaknesses. Whatever the reasoning, it is clear that the situation has captured the attention of the baseball world in a way that few rumors ever do. It has become a focal point for discussion, drawing in perspectives from across the spectrum and creating a sense of anticipation that is difficult to ignore. Ultimately, the story of Ranger Suarez and the Yankees remains shrouded in uncertainty, a blend of possibility and speculation that continues to evolve with each new development. Whether it culminates in a groundbreaking move or fades into the background as just another rumor, its impact is already undeniable. It has reignited conversations about rivalry, strategy, and the ever-changing nature of the sport, reminding everyone involved that baseball is as much about imagination as it is about reality. And as long as there are questions left unanswered, the intrigue will remain, keeping fans and observers alike on the edge of their seats, waiting to see what comes next in this unfolding saga. As the speculation refuses to die down, there is now a growing sense that something behind the scenes is quietly accelerating, even if no official confirmation has surfaced. Sources close to league circles continue to drop subtle hints, the kind that don't fully reveal anything but are enough to keep the conversation alive and evolving. The connection between New York Yankees and Ranger Suarez is no longer being treated as a far-fetched fantasy, but rather as a scenario that insiders are watching with genuine curiosity. What makes this even more intriguing is the silence from key figures, as neither side has made any effort to strongly deny the possibility. In the world of professional sports, silence can sometimes speak louder than words, and in this case, it is being interpreted as a sign that discussions, however preliminary, may exist beneath the surface. Fans are beginning to read between the lines, analyzing body language in interviews, tone in press conferences, and even the smallest details that could hint at a larger plan unfolding. At the same time, former players and analysts have started weighing in, adding layers of interpretation that only deepen the mystery. Some believe that Suarez could thrive in the intense spotlight of New York, pointing to his composure as a defining trait that would translate well under pressure. Others, however, question whether such a transition would disrupt the chemistry of a clubhouse that already carries enormous expectations. The debate has become a central part of the narrative, with each perspective offering a different vision of what this move could represent. For the Boston Red Sox, even being indirectly linked to this storyline has sparked concern among supporters who fear the symbolic impact of losing ground in any form to their biggest rivals. It is no longer just about performance on the field, but about perception, pride, and the psychological edge that has always defined this historic rivalry. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. There's also a growing belief that this situation could be influenced by factors beyond the obvious, including internal shifts within both organizations that are not immediately visible to the public. Changes in leadership philosophy, evolving strategies, and even personal relationships between decision-makers can all play a role in shaping unexpected moves. In that context, the idea of Suarez becoming part of the Yankees' plans begins to feel less like a shock and more like the result of a complex chain of events. Baseball, after all, is a sport where timing and opportunity often intersect in unpredictable ways. What appears impossible one moment can suddenly become plausible the next, especially when multiple interests align. This sense of unpredictability is what keeps the rumor alive, constantly feeding new angles and possibilities that prevent it from fading away. Meanwhile, the media landscape has fully embraced the story, turning it into a continuous cycle of speculation and analysis that shows no signs of slowing down. Every new comment, no matter how vague, is dissected and amplified, creating an environment where the narrative takes on a life of its own. The involvement of a player like Suarez, combined with the weight of the Yankees' identity, makes for a storyline that is almost irresistible. It touches on themes of rivalry, ambition, and transformation, all of which resonate deeply with fans. The more it is discussed, the more real it begins to feel, even in the absence of concrete evidence. This is the power of a compelling sports rumor, capable of shaping perception and generating excitement long before anything is officially decided. In the end, what makes this entire situation so captivating is not just the potential move itself, but everything it represents within the broader world of baseball. It challenges assumptions, blurs traditional boundaries, and invites fans to imagine scenarios that once seemed out of reach. Whether Ranger Suarez ultimately ends up wearing the iconic pinstripes of the New York Yankees or not, the impact of this rumor has already been felt in a profound way. It has reignited passion, fueled debate, and reminded everyone that in sports, the most powerful moments often begin as whispers. And as long as those whispers continue, growing louder with each passing day, the story will remain alive, evolving, and impossible to ignore. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.